It might be happening sooner than many of us expected, and certainly a lot sooner than I was expecting at any rate. Star Citizen's long-awaited Pyro, the new star system, is now tentatively scheduled for release in the third quarter of this year. It will come as a part of patch 4.0, which in itself is a huge deal. All of the features currently listed for 4.0 are tentative, so these might change, but there are a lot of them. So we've got 12 new planets and moons, and these are all gorgeous looking locations that have a substantially different feel compared to the worlds that exist in the current star system of Stanton. They are of course fully landable and explorable. 4 new gameplay loops are also planned. The fire hazards we saw in last year's CitizenCon demo with the burning of ship interiors, engineering allowing for power management and manual repairs of ships. Life support is also planned, along with a very interesting feature called Solar Burst, something unique to Pyro, which I'll talk about more in a bit. And then there's server meshing, which has been in development for what seems like an age at this point. Server meshing V1 is super important to the game because not only does it allow the seamless transit to Pyro, but also makes so many other features of Star Citizen possible. Also, I shouldn't forget to mention new character customization, new outposts and stations, an additional new animal, more ships and vehicles naturally, as well as weapons and other items. So, those planets. These are easily the thing I'm most excited to see in Star Citizen 4.0. The game has long held the best planetary tech among space games, and Pyro is only going to add to all of that. The Pyro star system will have 6 different planets, and not all of these are currently named, but they will each likely be visually distinct. For example, Pyro 3, also known as Bloom, is the world we previously saw at the CitizenCon demo. But since then, people have had the chance to explore this world for themselves, and indeed many of the others, as part of Star Citizen's preview event held back towards the end of last year. The world of Bloom has the very distinctive yellow coloration to it, thanks to the flora that covers so much of the planet's surface. Elsewhere in Pyro, the roadmap lists 6 new moons, and these are all the moons of Pyro 5. It's anyone's guess whether or not all of these worlds and moons will make it day 1 into patch 4, and obviously this is a huge amount of work to get all of this done, and whilst much of it was already implemented as a part of the preview event build, I'm not going to assume that it will also be making it day 1 into the patch, but of course anything is possible. Now the new gameplay loops each look to be particularly engaging. The fire hazard gameplay will obviously have a massive effect upon the game, especially for the largest of ships. It's also clearly going to make the whole deal of flying a large ship in solo more of a challenge. If you like flying bigger ships and just so happen to, catch on fire, you're going to have a bit of a situation on your hands. Simply put, you cannot fly the ship and fight a firefight at the same time. You might have a tough choice to make. The whole concept, though, really pushes forward the idea of working together as a crew on these ships. The same can also be said for engineering and repairs. In fact, manually repairing ships is something I've seen requested many times for a great number of different space games over the years. And for that reason, I'm going to put a little extra focus on this section. All the more so because this gameplay loop is actually available already in the game right now. The engineering experimental mode then in Arena Commander, which is a separate mode to the persistent universe, emphasizes the role of engineers in maintaining and repairing ships during combat. Ships are equipped with relays that distribute power and fuses that keep these relays functional. Engineers must replace fuses and manage power distribution to ensure the ship remains operational, especially when under attack by ballistic weapons that can penetrate shields and damage internal components. Key responsibilities include monitoring ship components for damage, replacing fuses, and restoring power. And engineers must know the ship's layout for quick repairs and communicate effectively with the rest of the team to direct efforts. Preparation involves adding redundant fuses to the start of the fight, enabling the ship to withstand more damage. And during combat, engineers handle shield management, ensuring shields remain functional and addressing any drops in shield health. They also prepare for and respond to boarding actions by managing internal defences and repairing entry points. Coordination then with the team is crucial for continuous operation and defence. Now I haven't tried any of this myself just yet, but it does sound like a lot of fun, doesn't it? But obviously it requires teamwork, and therein might lay a bit of a problem, at least for me. I'm very much a solo player in virtually all games, so I'm left wondering what ship repairs and even fire hazards will actually mean for me as a lone wolf player. Now, I'm not questioning whether or not a lone player will be able to actually do these things, but rather how will they balance flying, fighting and repairing. Ultimately, it may just be something that further restricts lone players to smaller ships, and if anyone has more info or thoughts on this, do let me know in the comments section. Moving on, there's also life support, and this is implementing the initial version of onboard life support systems into ships, which involves a component that generates breathable gas when activated. This also includes managing the life support components within the vehicle loadout manager. So yeah, just about every aspect of ships is going to become more and more detailed. As for the solar burst gameplay, solar bursts are hazardous natural events that frequently occur around aging stars like Pyro. During these events, the sun emits a high-energy particle wave from its surface that travels at 15% the speed of light throughout the entire star system. This dangerous wave can be avoided by taking cover behind sufficiently large objects, but it will affect both the players down on the surface of planets that actually get hit by it, as well as ships up in space. Now, easily the biggest part of patch 4.0 is of course server meshing. I won't go into too many details here as it's been extensively covered before elsewhere. Server meshing V1 in Star Citizen is a technology enabling multiple servers to work together seamlessly, creating a unified game world. And this allows for increased player capacity and smoother gameplay without loading screens. The technology dramatically, or dynamically rather, allocates server resources based on player activity, and this improves the stability and performance. So in other words, the more busy a particular area is, the more servers will be spun up to actually support the player activity in that specific area. There's much more to it than that though, but the sum of it is that server meshing really does aim to enhance the multiplayer experience and support a massive persistent universe. Also, as a part of 4.0, CIG are planning on refactoring both the mission system and the transit system to make full use of server meshing, so hopefully that will start bringing the whole game together. So then, that's a heck of a lot of stuff that's being rolled up into 4.0, isn't it? With the current aim for this to be released in the third quarter of this year, that certainly is an impressive goal. Do keep in mind that CIG themselves say that all of this is tentative, so some of it might not make the cut, some of it might not make the actual patch. And it's also possible that the patch itself might slip to, I guess, the fourth quarter, or maybe even a little bit further. But this does seem to be a very ambitious goal, and personally I'm quite surprised and well as pretty pleased to see that they're aiming for at least the third quarter of this year. So ultimately it's very clear that Star Citizen does keep pushing forward, and as you've been flying around, as I've been flying around on the screen here, some of these areas are absolutely gorgeous, very, very stunning locations. If you haven't played Star Citizen yourself just yet, there is a free fly week going on right now, and that's going to be available until the 29th of May. Additionally, there is a ship sale going on, and that means there's some discount packages to get you started with the game, if you're so inclined to drop a bit of money on it, so you can keep on playing after the 29th. My thanks to everyone for watching this video all the way to the end, and if you're still here, why not check out the other video on the screen right now. I'll catch you all next time, and do take care.